how would you like to be neglected or abused and made yourself feel like you're not worthy to be living, or you're just basically getting to the point to being depressed? Well, that feeling has been felt by a lot of animals. And people tend to not realize that animals do have feelings. Animals have requirements for care. Animals have all kinds of rights that people are very much unaware of. Even though you're not aware of animal rights, they do exist. Animal rights means that there are laws that says that it's owner responsibility to make sure the proper care is given to the animal. Even though the animal may be a dog or a cat, it could be a horse, it could be a sheep, it could be a goat, it could be any kind of animal that requires care. And there are owner responsibilities that are expected to be done, and the law says so. I would like to talk today about owner responsibility. I would like to talk about neglect, and I would like to talk about ways to avoid it. And I would also like to mention how some of these neglectings can end up in unfavorable situations. Even though a lot of people own a lot of animals and you don't hardly hear about it a whole lot in the news, but it does exist, and people that see it are people that are like me. My name is Lillian, and I have worked at veterinarian clinics off and on for 6 years. I have worked in grooming shops over 20 years. So I have owned animals all my life. I have a lot of experience dealing with animals, particularly dogs, particularly cats, small creatures, rabbits, guinea pigs, things like that. I mean, your common household pets. Working at places, working at veterinarian clinics specifically, I've seen a lot of animals that have been neglected. Seen some pretty bad situations that animals have been exposed to working at veterinarian clinics, and I'm sure anyone who has been a vet tech or any kind of veterinarian, you have seen some pretty bad things, and it can be mentally disturbing. I've worked in grooming shops, I've owned my own business, I have been exposed to all kinds of situations. I recommend grooming schedules. I recommend regular vet visits. I recommend prevention. That's my part that I continuously try to inform owners on, either doing or start doing or continue doing, even if they do it. Which, if they do it, that's great. Yay. Makes me happy to know that you're doing all that you can to make sure your pet is happy and healthy. A lot of people don't realize overfeeding is an issue. That is a form of neglect, because you're neglecting to give your dog a proper schedule and a proper health guideline to follow. So some people say better fat than skinny and starving. Well, true. Both are bad. Overeating causes health issues. Undereating definitely causes health issues a whole lot quicker than it would overeating, because when they're underfed or they're starving, organs begin to shut down. And then it's going to be quite a difficult situation to get them back into healthy order. There are a lot of, dealing with the health of animals. There's a lot of organizations that contribute their time and their funds to inform people, or either to fight for the laws of animals. The SPCA, for example. They are fighting for the laws of animals to be increased to the point to where they're recognized more as an actual animal instead of property. So they got lots of wonderful programs that help owners, that help the animals. They're just a very good organization, and you can look that up at spca.com. There's an organization that it's called the Fraser Coast Chronicles. The Fraser Coast Chronicles, they post new laws that are being created on a regular basis, and they inform people on what the laws are, what owner responsibility is, and you can investigate that at ProQuest.com. And again, that is the Fraser Coast Chronicles. It's an informative site. Even though that organizations or groups that put forth their effort into promoting animal health and animals' rights, I think that's a wonderful thing. I want to do my part in contributing to those kind of situations, of being able to be that person to help out. And there are a lot of people that are willing to help. And with it being the law says that it's owner responsibility to take care of your animal. With it being the law, if you cannot follow it due to a situation, there's a lot of places that can help you. You can ask a friend for help. You can ask your neighbor for help. You can ask a family member for help. And if all else fails with that, go to an organization. There are lots of your local animal shelter can give you suggestions. There's a lot of things you can do to avoid penalties, like tickets, fines, all of those kind of things can be avoided. You can avoid jail time, because jail time is definitely an option if you do not care for your animals properly, especially large animals, farm animals. You can go to jail for neglecting an animal that big, or even small ones. It's the law. You have to take care of them. If you can't take care of them, give them to someone who can take care of them. That's how you avoid penalties, tickets, fines, jail time, prison. All of those things can be avoided if you just take the proper steps. And taking the proper steps is very, very important. And I suggest that, like I said, I suggest that to my customers. Please take the proper steps to help your animal feel a lot better. Get on a grooming schedule. Because if you don't get on grooming schedules, I have an example of a grooming flaw that a lot of owners end up being with. This right here is a mat. This mat, I would say, has probably been pasted, which I call them peel jobs, because you literally have to peel this off of a dog. This mat's probably about over 2 years old on the dog, and as it is on the dog, it grows with the dog, basically. This little section right here, it's soft in here. This is where it was near the skin. And then there's like a little hole that goes all the way through here like that. This came off the dog's leg. And within this hole is where the paw was. And on the paws it has nails. Now, with this mat being it's very, very hard. That's hard. Now, with it being like that, the nail ended up growing to the point of a hook. And that is not good, because then it can grow into the skin. And when it ends up growing into the skin, it can end up looking like a circle. And when it's a circle, it ends up growing into the skin, and it opens up a wound that can get infected. So therefore, it's causing pain to the dog. So getting them groomed is very important. Getting their toenails trimmed is very important. From horses. Horses got nails on them, the hooves. It's a form of a nail, and it needs to be trimmed. Cows, all of these animals have proper care techniques that need to be addressed on a regular basis. It is my part as being an owner of an animal, I love animals, I do my part. I ask that owners of their animals do their part. It is your responsibility. Even if you do not own an animal, it is still taking part in doing what's right. Don't watch an animal be neglected. Don't watch an animal be abused. Do your part, and let's help keep animals and their rights intact. And animals do have rights. So please, will you be that person to do your part?